Shabbat Shalom. How's everybody? There's a bit of a buzz in the room. There's some nice energy in the room. I hope you can feel that if you're watching from home. We'll start on page 4. You turn your prayer books to page 4. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. How beautiful it is to be all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every voice, come on. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Hine ma tov u'mana'im. Shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, everybody. Wonderful to see you here tonight. This is working now, right? So tonight, for our candle blessings, we have a very special guest. And I'd like to invite Jennifer Cooper up to light our Shabbat candles and to receive her Hebrew name. Now, Jennifer and her husband, Jared, run an amazing organization, a place in Nicaragua that we took teenagers a couple of years ago to do some social justice work for spring break. And Jennifer went into the mikvah, but not a mikvah like we have in the building. Her mikvah took place in a beautiful tide pool at the base of a volcano outside of their resort in Nicaragua. So she's receiving her Hebrew name, Elisheva, in memory of her father, Lawrence Cooper, whose Hebrew name was Eliyahu, and her father was named after his grandfather who perished in the Holocaust. And so we're excited to welcome her, to give her and James this beautiful honor as we turn to page 14 for our candle blessings.
Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahalag ner shal Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, eternal source of the universe, who hallows with mitzvot and commands us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehalig ner shel Shabbat.
Continue with Lecha Dodi on page 34. Lecha Dodi likrat kala pnei Shabbat lekabela. Lecha Dodi
So if you can stand the cold tonight, when you go back outside at our Oneg Shabbat, you'll be able to walk into the sukkah just outside. If you're really brave, you can take your little piece of cake or your donut and bring it into the sukkah. And on page 88, the prayers that you'll be able to say when you're in the sukkah are there for you. But for now, we'll turn to page 87 and join in this responsive prayer in honor of the festival of Sukkot. We welcome Sukkot, festival of the harvest, festival of the frail booth, festival of our joy. Together, on Sukkot, we dwell in simple shelters of our ancestors. We pray for soothing rains to come. O God, may this be a season of bounty and of joy for us and for all the peoples of the earth, as we turn now back in our prayer books to the Chatzi Kaddish, which can be found on page 42.
יתקדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ועלמא דברך ילותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו יתברך וישתבח וידבר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בהלמו וימרו la 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 la
Page 46. You can be seated, I guess. We'll take a moment. You were going down anyway, so, you know. On page 46, this apparently may be the last moment that we can take advantage of this prayer this season. We'll have to wait until the springtime to go back outside again, so join with me together. Master of the universe, grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors each day, among the trees and grasses, among all growing things, there to be alone and enter into prayer. There may I express all that is in my heart, talking with you to whom I belong. And may all grasses, trees, and plants awake at my coming. Send the power of their life into my prayer, making whole my heart and my speech through the life and spirit of growing things, made whole by their transcendent source. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, O God, who makes the evening fall. Page 49. We are loved by an unending love. We are guided by the still small voice within us. We are loved by an unending love. A ner tamid to be tended from generation to generation. And a gentle love, giving meaning to our existence, structure to our lives, and of all the generations who have embraced their covenant.
כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom al Levavecha Veshinantam Levanecha V'dibarta bam V'shivtecha B'veitecha V'lechtecha V'derech V'shokbecha U'vekumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
So the festival of Sukkot is one of the Shlosha Regalim. Sukkot, Passover, and Shavuot are the harvest festivals, when in ancient times our people would bring the best of what they had to the temple as an offering. Well, obviously, we no longer give offerings, we give the offering of our hearts. And tonight, one family has brought the absolute best of what they have to receive his Hebrew name and wait to see him. So we call Jonah Ray Polk forward, son of Amanda and Justin Polk. And as they come forward, they're receiving all kinds of gifts, candlesticks, a baby book, lots of stuff for our ECC when he's ready.
ברוכים הבאים בשם אדוני, ברכנוכם מבית אדוני.
A little bit of baby show and tell first. And normally we don't talk about the meaning of a name, but in this particular moment, as you know, Jewish families typically do not name after living relatives, and so we don't have first, seconds, juniors, seniors. This baby's name, Yonah Rishon, Rishon meaning first, because of the first that he is in his family. And so we celebrate with this beautiful name, Jonah. Through your eyes we see the world, and give you the Hebrew name Yonah Rishon in memory of your paternal grandfather, James Polk. your paternal great-grandfather, Jerry Weisberg, and great-great-grandmother, Rosalind Weisberg, your proud grandparents who are looking over you and watching you, Jody Polk, Naomi Heckman, and Howard Kowalski, Maureen and David Charlotte, and proud great-grandparents, Joy Polk, Marilyn and Barry Charlotte, and Barbara and Michael Heckman. We pray that your world will only be filled with joy, that you will see what you are seeing in those lights right now every day with such wonderment, that you will live a life of Torah, of chuppah, and ma'asim tovim, a life of Jewish learning, a special partnership in love, and a life of good deeds, as together we say, Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
Amen.
As you probably know, one of the traditions of Sukkot is to invite ushpizin, guests, to your sukkah, one for each night, biblical characters who we invite to join our meal spiritually with us. And so all week I've been going to our ECC, to the Frankel Jewish Academy teenagers, and I've been asking, and even in my own home, asking, who would you invite from the past, from the future, your life, history, politics, arts, sciences, who would you invite, fiction, into your sukkah? And I guess, of course, Golda Meir came up several times. Someone said, one of the kids said Wonder Woman, which was great for me because I got to brag that Gal Gadot actually was water skiing on my boat, and I was amazed that even Wonder Woman needs a boat to pull her out of the water, which was sort of cool. One of my male friends, one of my friends, said that his wife said that she would like Jack Ryan to come to her. And what was funny is my friend got jealous, even though he's a fictional character. And it went back and forth, all sorts of really. I actually invited my 13-year-old self to the sukkah, which I thought was sort of clever. And again, some really fascinating answers. And then this evening, I was coming to temple, and I was thinking, who am I going to invite to the sukkah the last day of Sukkot? Who am I going to invite? I'm thinking, it'd be great if I could have into my sukkah, into my temple, the husband of a presidential candidate. And then Kamala Harris's husband showed up in the front row. I don't understand how it happened. It was unbelievable. And for those of you who are afraid about, equal time, because we love both Republicans, and, don't worry, because next week I'm going to conjure up Ivanka. So you may want to be here. And she's going to show up at services as well, at least in my imagination. And I bring that to you, but not for a political reason, because this is the redemption moment, and we often talk about politics. It's actually a more personal redemption, because the reason we invite ushpizin, guests into our sukkot, is because we want to take some of their qualities and bring them into our lives. And so I would challenge you, as Sukkot is ending, to think about the people in your life, in the world, that you would want to bring into your life, to take their qualities into your heart, and to become better people, and hopefully a better community on that basis, as we sing together our Song of Redemption on page 62, Micha Mocha.
Malchut Shechara u'banecha
חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
Please join me in a prayer for peace in the middle of page 64. Cause us, our Creator, to lie down in peace, and raise us up, O sovereign God, to renewed life and peace. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and be our shield of mercy and of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
Page 65. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We rise on page 68. Adonai sifatai tiftahu v'yagid teilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Ha'akol, V'zocheh Chastei Avot V'imot, U'mebih Geula Livnei Bneihem, L'ma'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezra Sarah.
Together at the bottom of page 69. Prayer invites us to let God's presence suffuse our spirits, to let God's will prevail in our lives. Prayer cannot bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a weakened will. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Blessed are you, O God, who renews all things.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל pray silently.
So through the high holidays, there's really no other time of year that we actually know how many people are watching us on stream. And the numbers are pretty amazing. And one year we had someone watching from Uganda and all over Europe. Israel, we have teens who are spread all over the country who are watching. And it's really exciting for us. And really, that's what it's for. But we also know that it's for people who physically can't get here because either they just can't bring themselves to go through the parking lot. I know about the parking lot. We hear about the parking lot. Or they're not well, or they're in the hospital, or they're rehabilitating. And our service being able to be streamed to them was everything. And I don't think that I could ever hear that enough. And so we are sending love to everybody watching. We remember you. We think of you. And we bring everyone into our hearts who needs a healing, spiritual or physical, as we sing the Misha Berach together on page 72.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor haberachah la'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
My children have not had a full day of school, a full week of school, excuse me, a full week of school Monday through Friday in a really, really long time. So first we had Labor Day, and I get it, it's a fun time. They keep asking me when the next time there are going to be unlimited snow cones and face painting again at Temple. Then we had the high holidays. They were amazing, inspiring. And this week, once again, on Monday, my two woke up, gleefully parked themselves on the couch in their pajamas. Why no school? Sukkot, my kids go here. But after my husband forced them outside to play in the crisp, beautiful fall air, it became clear that my children were not the only ones who had a day off. The neighborhood was filled with them. Kids of all different backgrounds and faiths, because it wasn't just Sukkot, it was also Columbus Day. Well, it was Columbus Day. This year, on October 14th, as our children flooded the cul-de-sac with soccer balls and Power Wheels, Governor Whitmer released a proclamation. And yes, it is really called a proclamation. In the announcement, she declared that from now on, Columbus Day in Michigan will be transformed into Indigenous Peoples Day, first proposed in 1977 by a delegate of Native nations to the United Nations. Now, of course, the reason for the change is evident. Today's Americans are far more sensitive to Native Americans' right to dignity and truth when it comes to our complicated history. And Michigan, along with many other states and scores of cities across our great land, have made this change to combat prejudice and build relationships with our Indigenous neighbors. And the Tribal Council of the Grand Traverse Band of Ottawa and Chippewa Indians, along with the Potawatomi, is that right? Yes. Who have lived in this area since time immemorial, to quote our governor, they are grateful for the change. And each year, this movement to transform this day grows, as local governments are changing the observance of Columbus Day to tell a different narrative, one that honors the original keepers of this land, one that remembers the history of displacement and genocide that has marred America's past since the time that Europeans first arrived on these shores. And so this Monday was made even more special. It was the first day of Sukkot and the first Indigenous Peoples Day in Michigan. And the overlap of these 2 days and their many common themes creates this unique opportunity for us as Jews in America to share our story, to engage with other peoples who have suffered displacement and survived attempted annihilation. During Sukkot, we too give homage to the land. Sukkot marks our fall harvest. We decorate our Sukkot with the symbols of natural growth and bounty. We pick up the 4 species in our lulav, which are What? Huh? One at a time. Come on, one at a time. Myrtle. Palm, I heard. Willow. Well, that drug's over here. What's left in here? The citron. And we wave them around in recognition of our deep relationship to our earth and the divine presence that allows us to thrive. And on Sukkot, we also recognize displacement. The physical Sukkot, these booths, the one that you'll see outside, they represent our people's wanderings on their journey from Egypt to the Promised Land. It's sort of similar, but it's different. Our Sukkot is about remembering liberation and our journey to freedom, while Indigenous Peoples Day is about remembering violence, displacement, settlement, and colonization. And with the combination, the overlap of these two sacred days, we remember that just as we Jews openly celebrate our holiday and the religious liberty granted to us here to do so, we are doing so on appropriated soil with a challenging past. Most of us didn't come here like Columbus, explorers searching for riches and fame. Rather, this country has been, for generations of Jews, a place for opportunity and refuge, as our own people fled violence, displacement, and genocide. Now, we can feel grateful for this, but we can also recognize the difficult history that we've inherited from which we also benefit. Both things can be true. This idea of gratitude and acknowledgement of pain reminds me of Passover, when we drop wine from our glasses to mark the plagues and the suffering of Egypt, with our grandmothers warning us not to lick the leftover drops from our fingers. And it is in this moment that we realize that our freedom came at the expense of others, that our joy caused others pain. Jewish history is this continuous narrative of migration and displacement, and we would do well to learn and honor that past while at the same time committing to work for a better and more just future for all peoples. And so this year, when you're shaking your lulav and smelling your etrog, celebrating our deep connection to the ground, the earth, the air, the sky, remember where we came from. We were wanderers, praying for a home where we could be free. And remember where we stand today and at what cost. So I want to conclude tonight by just sharing this beautiful poem written by our nation's poet laureate, Joy Harjo. She is the first Native American woman to serve in this role. And the title of the poem is called Conflict Resolution for Holy Beings. She writes, "Recognize whose lands these are on which we stand. Ask the deer, turtle, and the crane. Make sure the spirits of these lands are respected and treated with goodwill. The land is a being who remembers everything. You will have to answer to your children and theirs. And by listening, we will understand who we are in this holy realm of words. Do not parade, pleased with yourself. You must speak in the language of justice." When we made it back home, back over these curved roads that wind through the city of peace, we stopped at the doorway of dusk as it opened to our homelands. We give thanks for the story, for all parts of the story, because it was by the light of those challenges we knew ourselves. We asked for forgiveness, and we laid down our burdens next to each other. Moedim l'simcha, Shabbat Shalom, and happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a
time to dance, a time to mourn, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to love, a time to hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
You do know that that's a traditional text, right? It comes from the book of Ecclesiastes, which is the reading for the festival of Sukkot. And so as we turn to the conclusion of our service, I'd like to invite Debbie Gordon to come forward. She's a member of our executive committee, and she will address the congregation.
Shabbat Shalom. Please join us Thursday evening at 7 p.m. for the first session of our three-part Moroccan lecture series. Professor Howard Lupovich will explore the rich history of Sephardic Jewry in Morocco. A week from tonight is the second nationwide Show Up for Shabbat. Join us for a family-friendly, high-energy Kehillah Shabbat experience at 6 p.m. or a song-filled, spirit-lifting adult service at 7:30, both featuring our musical artist-in-residence, Jacob Spike Krause. There's also a Shabbat dinner for everyone at 6:45. Please RSVP for dinner by this Monday. Monday, October 28th is our next Ask, Lunch, and Learn, featuring Rabbi Nate DeGroot, who will speak about Hazon Detroit, climate change, and other important social issues. Grandparents, bring your grandchildren and their families to an unforgettable evening of magic and marvel on Saturday, November 2nd at 5:30 p.m. for the Grand Havdalah. Join us for dinner, a spectacular Havdalah service, and a performance by the talented Cirque Among Us. Finally, join us Thursday, November 7th for Portraits in Faith, featuring Daniel Epstein. Mr. Epstein has documented the faith journeys of over 500 people around the world and will share his amazing digital collection of spirituality with us. This evening is open to the community at no charge with registration. Please note that the temple offices will be closed on Monday, October 21st for Shmini Atzeret. Services will begin at 10:30 a.m. For more information about any of our programs, check the brochures as you leave, visit the website calendar, or call the temple office during regular business hours. Please join us after services for Oneg and Shabbat greetings. On behalf of the officers and members of the Board of Trustees, I wish each of you a Shabbat Shalom.
Just a couple more announcements for fun. Sunday night is our Simchat Torah service, and it is for everybody, but especially for kids. We're calling it the Family Simpop Torah. Now, my kids are too old to know what's it called, Kids Bop? What Kids Bop is, but all of your grandchildren know what it is, and it's going to be the greatest night on earth, so you should definitely bring them. 5 o'clock dinner activities, 6 o'clock service. It's in your program. Take it home. Ask your grandchildren to join you. They will love you for it. And then note that Monday's service is actually a Yizkor service as well, so we'd like to invite you to come observe Yizkor on Monday morning at 10:30. And so there are some youngest people in our room. If you're under 11 years old, so 11 years old and younger, we'd like to invite you to come to the Bima. You'll get, there he is. Join Austin on the Bima, please, as we rise for the adoration, page 189.
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
Well, that's a bummer. Oh, there we go. Hello. I'm like a little kid with a microphone. I can't believe I get to talk in the microphone. Let's turn to page 189. It is a fearful thing. It is a fearful thing to love what death can touch. A fearful thing to love, hope, dream, to be, and oh, to lose. A thing for fools this, and a holy thing. For your life has lived in me, your laugh once lifted me, your word was gift to me. To remember this brings painful joy. 'Tis a human thing, love, a holy thing, to love what death has touched. Tonight we remember those who've died in recent days in the period of Shloshim. Cynthia Benjamin, Arnold Bernstein, Roberta Black, Don Brady, Jane Brodskaya, Leonard Brose, William Bush, Charles Davis, Leonard Farber, Irene Fox, Sarah Frank, Marilyn Friedland, Sheldon Goldman, Charlotte Goldstein, Rochelle Grant, Aryeh Gur, Sheldon Kay, Betty Keene, Emmanuel Lyons, Marty Miller, Alice Modine, Jerry Neff, Harold Osher, Leonard Posner, Emily Rogo, Irene Rosen, Bobby Rothstein, Morris Sherman, Carol Sohigian, Harold Taub, Lester Weiner, Leonard Zeidman, and Burl Zickerman. And to their names we add those whose yard sites fall at this time. Dennis Arnold, Stuart Barron, Jack Beckwith, Sylvia Collins Bershad, Joseph Broad, Dorothy Chess, Rose Cohen, Bruce Engelson, Yaakov Gelfand, May Goodman, Bela Korsch, Dr. Edward Myers, Michael Nicholas Roth, Jared Howard Saperstein, Evelyn Sedley, Rose Malik Sexton, Erwin Spiegelman, Sidney David Weiss, James Polk, David Gross, Rose Stern, William Stern, Mary Miller, Dorothy Sauls, Nathan Hack, Annette Benek Robinson, Daniel Albert, Sean Evans, Charlotte Melner Rilson, William Val Resnick, Harold Gottlieb, Rose Schechter, Myron Schechter, Leon Simon, Morris Topple, Courtney Lisa Cantor, Louis Joseph Bean, Herman Weberman, Arthur Mowgli, Elaine Solins, Marvin Canner, and Herbert Ross. Tehei Nishmotehem Soror B'Tzra Chaim. May their souls be bound up in the bond of everlasting life and memory. As we turn now to page 199 for the words of Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agal lau v'zman kariv v'yemru amen.
Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Leolam Omeo Maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved among us. Amen.
We conclude our service with Oseh Shalom on 199. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Bottom of the page. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. 199, bottom of the page. Ve'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom Bimroma. Yaseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom.